your host Jojo Robago, and this is a front row seat to my personal fantasy football league filled with my brothers and my best friends. So just want to give you a little insight of the drama, the hate, the fun, and all the smack talking that we do. The trades, endless amount of trades. We probably did 2 trades this week. This is week 8, better late than never, but we're going to get started with the league and give you caught up with everything. So behind me got my draft board. If you can't see all the way, but there's a piece of the draft board which is a live draft. This year we did quarterback club to pick our draft order, which is pretty fun. But as far as the league goes, it's a 12-man, points per reception, full point. 2-man keeper league, for you keep them up to 2 years, and draft position plays into account of where you can keep them at for the following year. It's a super flex and extra flex on top of that, and everyone gets 6 points. So quarterbacks hold a whole lot more of a value, especially if you get them early, a good quarterback and everything like that. So it's $200 fab money per season, and that's pretty much it. So it's broken down into three divisions, all right? The varsity, JV, and the fish division. Don't know how the fish is, but they're trash. Just know that. And let's get into the actual personal standings and everything. Let's go. So here's so we're gonna dive right into the rest of the league and get more information and details. So just a quick note here. So it is our 6th season of this league, and 4 out of the 6 seasons was actually won by our commissioner, Corey. He's a Ascended Masters or something like that. So, yeah, so he's actually was a pretty good champion. Luck, whatever you might want to call it, but he won 4, which is pretty impressive. I would take him over my champion over this guy, who is our current champion, Gary the Grizz, and is the worst champion ever. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's terrible. He just had one lucky year, and whatever. He's terrible. I'd rather have Corey win 4 more years instead of this guy winning 1. So yeah. So he's our current champion. Had an impressive season. He went 11-2. And can't take that away. So this is his belt. He'll get it customized and give it back to him. And now this pretty thing here, this PYT trophy. This belongs to my brother, Hanoi. So this is the first year we're doing this bad boy. This is the Golden Plunger Award for the terriblest team in the league, last place. So he just has to autograph it. We did a pretty good job here, and wasn't too happy about it. So, but he was 2-11. What you gotta do, man? You 2-11. He's the exact opposite of what this guy did. So he was terrible last year, but he's he's definitely already improved at a 4-3 record right now. So we're gonna get into the standings right now. As far as the top tier of guys, we have a 3-way tie at 5-2, starting off with Nick at the number 1 spot after he beat the dog mess out of Gary last week. So Nick is actually at 5-2. We're all pretty tied here, but Nick's the highest ranked player. Gary, followed by Gary as ranked number 2, and I'm ranked number 3. But we're all 5-2. I got the highest scoring team, and Nick has the second highest score, so he definitely belongs there. The next tier guys, also a 3-way tie. At 4-3, we have David, last year's runner-up champ, and then we got Hanoi, the Golden Plunger champ, and then Brian. He is Cam Newton. I don't know. He's 4-3. I don't know how he's 4-3, but he is. So at 3-4, we have Aaron, who is already 1 game. I'm sorry, he's completely tied with his record from last year. But he's leading the pack. Aaron, Sean, and Edward. Edward's my brother-in-law. Yeah, he's 3-4. He's my opponent this week, so we'll see how that goes. At 2-5, we have Barris, William, and Corey. Kind of a weird jumble, a collection of records here because the guys who are in last place are usually mid-tier or in first place, and the guys in the mid-tier, it's a weird year. It's definitely a weird year, especially with all the injuries. So that's our standings, and then we're going to dive right into the matchups for Week 8 here. So first off, we got myself versus Edward. I'm usually pretty modest, and I don't like to give myself the win. But you know what? I think I'm gonna beat him. I'm gonna give myself -11. Edward has Shady McCoy and a couple of terrible QBs. He could upset me, but that'd be the gist of it. It'd be an upset. But he tried to hoard all the QBs, and he just picked all the worst QBs out of that. So that backfired on him, and now he was scrounging around for QBs. So I give myself a -11, and I think the MVPs of my week would be Kamara and OBJ. So let's see how that goes. Next up, we got David versus Sean. This one was a toughie, but I think if anyone does win, I think it would be David, and I think it'd be at -39. Now that can just be some extra points and whatnot, but it can go either way. But I'll take David with this one on a -39. David has Adam Thielen, and AJ Green, and that's been hooking him up. Honestly, David had Jimmy Jam, but he got hurt, I think, week 2, week 3, and he had to settle with Beathard, but Thielen has been carrying that team and doing a good job of it. So, now, I give David -39 on that, and then next up we have Brian versus Nick. I don't see much competition out of this matchup. Brian has Cam Newton, Russell Wilson. He just had some injuries with losing Marshawn Lynch, but he also has McCaffrey. But not much else after that. Nick's pretty stout. He has Gurley, has Tom Brady, has Saquon Barkley, and his team looks pretty solid. So, just with Gurley alone scoring an average of 3 touchdowns a game, you got to give it to Nick. I'm giving this one a -51 points and the highest variance of the week. So next up we got Aaron versus William. Honestly, guys, these guys, I don't know. I couldn't really pick one. So this is a straight pick'ems game. So pick 'em, and I'm not picking anybody. This is gonna be a pick'em game. And if Aaron does win, I'm gonna give him his MVP would be Cousins, and if William wins, it'd be Stafford. Not much between those guys on talent wise on their team. So, but yeah, anything could happen. And then next up we have Barris versus Hanoi, which I'm gonna call Barris on the phone and see what he thinks about his matchup. See if he answers. Hey.
What's up?
Hey, so I got you. We on the camera right now. We recording the show. So, want to see what you think about your matchup versus Hanoi.
Well, man, I'm not worried about Hanoi, man. He's been riding my coattails. So it's a little lucky streak. I'm not worried about him. I'm gonna beat him so bad, man. I'm gonna not fucking that Jerry Curl is here. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Hanoi really, dude.
He's 4-3.
Huh?
Hanoi's 4-3, and you're 2-5.
Hanoi's 4-3.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Okay. What does that mean? That means that means that he's getting lucky. Do you see how much points he's putting up?
No, I haven't checked that out yet. No.
Okay, exactly. So that's pretty much every single person playing against him is putting up less points than against him than they do against the normal team.
Why the hell did I call this man?
I'm in 205, whatever I am, and I average more points than he does.
Okay.
Just that.
Okay.
So you comparing how many 4 and whatever he is, 4 and 2 to my 2 and 5. Of course, he have a better record, but that doesn't mean he have a better team.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Exactly. His team just get lucky. I mean, I know he's soft. He's soft just like his team. That's what you know. Seriously, that's why it makes sense that his team is called MC Hammer because after our game, I'll put him into retirement. Like let him go and join Hammer. You know what I'm saying? In retirement home. So I gotta say about him. Little scrub.
So okay. So you have any words for Hanoi specifically towards him? You want to say anything to Hanoi?
Other than he's soft like cotton candy, man.
He's soft like cotton candy.
He's soft like cotton candy, dude. He reminds me of like a watered down, I would say marshmallows. You know what I'm saying? When you win it, it's all slippery and soft. Stop it up, you know what I'm saying? That's what he does, man. He can't see me. He knows he can't see me. My boy just went out for like 42 points against his ass last night.
Okay.
And it's just one player. So, once A-Rod, get his mind right, he's going to go for about 46 points this week also.
Okay.
Then I have my boy Adams, so let's go do his little thing. This game is over, man.
All right. Lastly, what do you think of your champion Gary?
Oh, he's an inspiration to us all, man. We should all try to be inspired to be as great as Gary.
I ain't gonna listen to that crap. All right. Well, anyways, I only understand half of the words he says, anyways. But I just heard MC Hammer and he stopped his cotton candy. Everything after that, it was a blur. All right. So Hanoi versus Bears. I have Bears actually, honestly, winning that. Giving them a -21, giving them his MVPs as Watson and Aaron Rodgers. He played it smart with his draft and kept Watson. I think it was the 13th, 11th or 13th round. 10th round, actually. He kept Watson in the 10th round from last year, and Aaron Rodgers in the first round. So, pretty strong QBs, and I think he does have a point. He has a good team, but they haven't been performing or mishaps or just playing the wrong person, which this is all about luck. So, we'll see. But I give Bears the edge on this. Hanoi has a pretty decent team with Breeze, Wentz, and Edelman. So Juju. So he has a good team, but I'll give Bears the edge on this one at a -21. So now my main event is Corey versus Gary. So the two former champ, or the current champ and the former champ, and these guys just they just don't like going. They just fantasy comes around, they don't like each other very much, or at least Corey doesn't like him because Gary's just a terrible person. And so this is usually our week 1 matchup. But we got to change it up this year a little bit, or last year a little bit. But between the two of them, I think Corey will win this one. Corey's 2-5, but his team doesn't translate to his record. So I'll give Corey the edge on this one at a -14. The reason I'm gonna give him this one is I'm gonna give Corey's MVPs as Zach Ertz. You're welcome. I gave him to him 2 weeks ago, and James Conner. So Gary has Antonio Brown and Big Ben, and crazily just traded him with James Conner for David Johnson to his opponent. That he's facing this week. So let's see. But I give you the edge to Corey. So other than that, I think Gary's gonna lose, and hope he loses. And after that, we'll just go dive into week 9 next week. Top waiver wire this week was pickups were Danny Amendola, Devontae Parker, And
Trash.
that is it. There was nothing else on that bad boy. Nothing. So good luck. We'll see you week 9. Peace.